Actually. Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? So today I have the Clarity Man, Coach Irfan, here with me, and we were just doing an interview. Irfan was interviewing me on his podcast, and we had such an amazing discussion. I was like, you know what? Why don't we go and let's recreate it on one of my live videos? So, hey, Irfan, how's it going, buddy? All right?
Hey, Muneer, excellent. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Hi,
I'm good.
everyone out there.
Awesome. So yeah, so let's just recreate some of those questions you were asking me. I
Yeah,
think
sure.
we were having such a great discussion. I thought it would be awesome for us to share
Yeah,
it on this platform as well. So
yeah.
yeah, let's
So,
get going. Mm. Oh,
the thing that I really wanted to ask a little bit on the work that we did is, a lot of people, I remember, when I consult or when I coach people as well, a lot of people really want to change their situation. They want to come out of it, right? Be it a challenging situation, be it a new road or a new path that they're trying to create for themselves and for their family, like, the transition point, I'm saying. And they know they want to do it, but they get stopped either by questions in their mind, the doubts, a lot of fears. Because you see, what happens is, I've realized, and again, as a coach, as a person who has understood a lot of things about human being, doing this work for the last 4.5 years and writing these books, I've realized, I've come to the conclusion that, people have that potential, people have that ability, people have that knowledge, people have what it takes, but it's just that they have not been able to take the first step, or they have not been able to embark on this journey. It doesn't matter what the size of the action or the size of the task at hand, but they need to start. And that is one of the most crucial point, where a lot of push is required from their side, and a lot of a lot of energy is needed for them to move. And I do it as a coach, but I think at large, people listening out there in your audience and everyone, and I'm sure at some point they would want to start something new, or go to the gym, or start a business, or take care of their health, or take care of their family better. But there are a lot of fear and doubt. So how do you, with the work that you do, my question, I wanted to have an elaborate view from yourself, is how do you deal with that, and how do you actually start, in spite of having that fear, like you were mentioning something on the podcast as well, courage is not about getting stopped.
I think the first thing to realize is that fear is very normal. Like fear, doubt, it's something that so many of us have, and also some of the most successful people I've learned, we have that negative voice, that voice that says, am I good enough, can I do it? And I've had those fears so many times in my life. This year especially, it's shown up in big amounts. The one thing that the most important thing to realize is, number one, that courage is not the absence of fear. It's not the absence of doubt. It's not the absence of saying, hey, can I do it? Am I good enough? Or any of these things, or worrying about time or money, or, it's not the absence of those things. It's the ability to move despite of those things. And this is a huge thing. For me, this last year, after losing my job, for example, I had a lot of these doubts. Can I do marketing? Am I good enough? Will I be able to do this, etc.? And I had all these doubts, but I wasn't, and sometimes they still pop up. However, I take action despite of them. I reprogram my mind. So the first part is, if someone wants to take action and they have doubts, they have fears, number one, realize that it's normal. A lot of people have it. We have the imposter syndrome. Am I good enough, etc. So that's number one. But the second part is understanding that in order to get somewhere new, you got to figure out, okay, where am I right now? Where do I want to be? And then every single day, taking a little step towards it. And this is key. Habits creates success is not an event. Success is a result of habits. This is not my quote. This is like Aristotle. I've probably butchered his his quote, but success is a result of habit. And so you want to be able to, every single day, if you know where you are, where you want to go, every single day, just take a little step. It doesn't have to be a big step, but as long as you're every single day in the direction of where you want to go, that's going to be hugely powerful. So I think
and that's great, Muneer, because while you're talking, I was thinking about my own mechanism as well, right? Because it is very important to understand that you have step. And what I've started doing, again, we all are human beings. At times we also get stopped by doubt. Oh, it's not perfect, it's not right, the environment is not right, the time is not right, the situation is not right. I'm having something on my family occasion or something. I need to prioritize that. So whatever it is, I think what I've realized and what I've started doing now, I've been wanting to start this free mastermind group that I recently started. I've been wanting to start it for a while, but I realized, what do I have my mechanism
in place?
I need to start taking action, and I took the action. So what I did is when I have an idea, instantly in that moment I do something with that idea as a very small action. Maybe I'll go out and speak to my wife saying, hey, you know what, today at 7 p.m. I'm going to do this because I have this idea. Or I'm going to, take some action. I'm going to put a post out there saying, hey, listen, this is what I'm doing. And that's exactly what I did. I started this mastermind called Brutally Honest Accountability, meaning no excuses, get the job done, kind of reminding people as well and taking people along with me saying, what, it needs to be done. You have to stay accountable. And I started that, and it's been running now. If I had not taken action in that moment of putting that post out on a Facebook saying, hey, listen, what's free? Come in, bank on it, and I'm going to help you out. Because again, things that produces money, revenue, I think is fine, but I really want to focus more on creating value, helping people like you're doing, right? During these free live. So I started doing that, and I think taking action in the moment, maybe that moves the needle to 0.001%. Doesn't matter. I think that is what is important as well. So Muneer, are you listening? I hope you can hear me, Muneer, and I hope the audience are able to hear us. So this is one of the mechanisms that people can apply who are listening out there, right? Muneer? I'm unable to hear you, Muneer. Yes, maybe right now. Yeah.
Your first step is so powerful, and Alex, I'll share why. Your first step is, you don't need to do the biggest thing in the world, but to go from 0 to 1 is such a bigger step than going from 1 to 2. Because if you do math, 0 to 1 is like, what do you have to multiply 0 by in order to get to 1? Infinity. It's impossible. So as soon as you take the first step, however small, even if it's 0.1, it's an infinite amount that you need. Like, it's such a huge step to take the first step. And so, like you said, I encourage people, if you've got something that you want to achieve, get clear on what it is and do the smallest thing. Whenever I work with anybody, they tell me what it is they want to do, and I always ask them, what is one tiny thing that you can do today that will take you a little bit closer? Is it taking out your phone and putting like scheduling something in the calendar for next week. I don't know. For example, it's a tiny step, but it's a step in the direction. And when you take that first step, it is so much more powerful than saying, you know what, one day I should, one day I should, one day I should. And so that's, I'd agree. The first step is super, super, super powerful.
Yeah, you know what? Also, what I do, Muneer, I'll share something because I think it will be really valuable for the people listening out there, and I think you can add upon. I'm sure you have some sort of a mechanism as well to consistently take action. See, because also I realize, Muneer, that everyone looks at the world differently. So for me to start a business of exports of rice from India, okay, it could be a certain level of difficulty as a task, or as an outcome, or as a goal, right? So I apply something called a difficulty matrix check initially with anything that I have to do. When you have that difficulty matrix check, I rate it saying, you know what, if it's how difficult do I feel from my view? For someone else, maybe it's not difficult, maybe because he's already started some business, he knows people in the industry or whatever it is, or maybe for someone it's like 100. For me, I said on a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult it is, okay, and I rate it accordingly. And then next question that I ask is, how can I make it easier for me to start? Yeah. And whatever answer comes upon, from that answer, I said, okay, so whatever answer I wrote, right, from that answer, what is that small thing that I can do now? So if there's a three parameters check, and I take the first action, and then from that point onwards, as you said, you start building upon that and start creating the momentum. So that is also what I use. Maybe that'll really help.
That's awesome. Just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll carry on. So I'm not sure whoever guys are listening out there. Muneer, okay. So he's.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. It's unedited. It's live.
It's the beauty of going live. I gotta say, something happens and you just can't. Is like you have to do it live in the moment.
Yeah, exactly. And when you said we are going live, Muneer, I had to lock my kids as well.
But you see, you know what? But also one of the things that I've learned is it's not important how perfect the action is. Like even just doing these lives, and I've made a lot of mistakes on my lives. I've had my kids run in. My wife run in because someone's upstairs, and it can't wait. But you see, like sometimes it's not important the quality of the action. Like you just take action. Imperfect action is better than no action. And so, like us coming on here today, I think and we, you came on last minute after I came onto your show, and
Muneer, I must say something here. I was the most perfect example of a perfectionist. Right? I still remember. See, think about this, right? I mean, obviously, with a certain personality type, as we know in this industry, we are different personality types. So I'm already a perfectionist, which I'm aware to a certain degree. And then I start working in environments and places which are very, very. It requires ones to be perfect on time, discipline, right? So everything that I had, I compounded by the scale of 10. Working on ships as a senior most officer, doing the paperwork on time, custom and immigration, getting the passports and everything in order on time, and all those things were there, right? So I compounded my perfectionism. And when I started working in this industry 4 years ago, that was my biggest hurdle to overcome, because I want to be a certain way. I want to present my work in a certain way. I want to present it with a certain standard and with a certain, flowers and whistles and bells and everything, right? And that actually kind of stopped me a number of times. But then I realized, again, my mentor also made me aware of it. And, with the work that I delve into, the work that we do, human behavior, psychology, how people get stopped. And I realized that, perfectionism is the shortest route to procrastination.
Yeah.
This is what I live by. This is what I live by, because I know if I am going to wait for the perfectionist attitude or behavior, it still pops up, because this is who I am, right? And it's good in a certain way, because it keeps the standard, keeps certain things in a certain way that can be good. But at the same time, being aware of this has helped me still take action and improve upon and bring in the quality and the standard and everything in a timely manner to what is required.
And we were talking about something on your podcast. First of all, hi Marika, great to see you. Always a pleasure to see you.
Hi Marika.
So we were talking about something on your podcast, and we were talking about how accepting mistakes, because it is so easy for us to want to be perfect a lot, and we get into this paralysis of analysis. I was talking about when I first started doing lives. Before I started doing live, like when I was doing videos, I would edit, and then I would edit again. My first ever few videos, by the way, I edited and edited again and edited again and edited again, and then I never went live, and then I never published them. Why? Because I kept wanting them to be perfect. There was too many or I looked a little bit chubbier in this picture, or this or that, or etc. And I just kept on and so what happened is those videos never went live. But there was a big paralysis of analysis. And what I'd say is, right now where I'm at is, for example, when I started doing my advertising, I was like, that's a big risk. I'm putting money out there to advertise, and I don't know if people are going to show up, etc. But what I did was, I just said, you know what? I'm going to make mistakes. I accepted it. And in fact, I wrote off the whole thing. I said, if the whole thing is a mistake, it's fine. And so I basically said, if I waste the whole amount of my advertising budget and I make $0, at least I would have learned something. And that's a good place to come from. Like, start to go live, accept that you're going to make mistakes, start to progress in whatever field it is, and just realize that that your first step is not a solid step. Like, you can always adapt, you can always change. When I put a like, so many people I know, they work on websites, and they work on it and work on it and work on it and work on it and never go live with it. Right now I'll create a website, I'll put it live, and then, I need to change something, I'll change it. I need to, like, right now, today, I have to change something on a website, like, because it's wrong. But my website was live. It's okay. You can change. You can adapt. Yeah.
Exactly. I remembered one ancient wisdom that I want to share here. When I visited Japan, I visited a lot of places in Japan while I was traveling on ships. And I came to know about these Japanese samurais, right? The great warriors. And I found out that they, in order to take out the fear of not executing and going out and fighting, they used to meditate on how they will end their life, or how they will die.
Oh, wow.
As a preparation to go to battle. So there is no fear. There's no fear. They're just going out and doing their fun. Whatever they have to do, they're doing it. And that's an interesting.
Oh, I didn't know that, actually. That's very cool. Yeah. We also spoke about earlier, when my first time when I wanted to change my financial situation, and I took out a loan, I wrote off the whole amount as a learning cost in my mind. And I took that whole amount and I invested every last bit of it, because we all, so many people, and I've been there, we're like, oh, but what if it doesn't work? What if this? What if that? And I just said, you know what? I'm going to take it. I'm going to just test it out. And I split it into 4. I took a loan out, which, by the way, I shouldn't do. I'm not going to give anybody financial advice here, but I took a loan out, and then I invested the whole amount. A quarter here, a quarter here, a quarter here, a quarter here, and I said, if I wrote off the whole thing as a learning cost. I said, I might lose the whole
Super.
amount, and I accepted
But
it.
it pays.
And because I
Yeah.
accepted it, I was okay. One of the investments, it stayed steady. It didn't grow. One, I lost money, but not like not all of it, like a little bit. And the other two, I gained a fair bit of money, and I was like, oh wow. And so overall, I was much better off. But I wouldn't have done that if I hadn't accepted that it was okay to make mistakes. And
Yeah.
mistakes were a part of my process
Yeah.
in that scenario, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So, let me ask you this as well, Muneer. So when you say mistakes were a part of it, because you see, when you say mistakes, or some people term it as failures, like very heavy, and some people say, what, it's a learning curve, and people who understand this part, where they take it as a learning curve, and have this mindset that you just described for yourself, are the ones who keep taking consistent action. So what is the language pattern that they can shift in their mind for people who have just started off their journey? Or what is that one thing that, or one or two things, whatever it is, that you would tell them to adopt, so that they consistently still keep taking action? Because you see, right, as rightly so, you said there will be mistakes. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be evolution. You will pivot. You will evolve. If you're starting a business, if you're starting your work. So what would be that one or two thing that will help them keep going, in spite of whatever they come across, a mistake or failure or whatever they term it?
So the first part is understanding what limiting beliefs or limiting patterns are kind of going on, right, in your mind. So for example, if like when I first left my job, I was like, oh my God, am I good enough? Can I do the marketing? What if I waste money? What if I fail? So number one, I'm not a good marketer. When I advertised in the past, I lost money. So I understand where you're at. The second part is just start to limit those thoughts by doing a number of things. Now you can interrupt the pattern, and I share advanced techniques to scramble the way that you think. But also, it's as simple as, if you're saying to yourself, like, I'm not good at marketing. Just add it up until now. The words up until now, 3 words. So
Bravo.
going, I've never been good at marketing up until now. And in your mind, it's a simple thing, but it's been a shift. It's like, okay, it was true. I'm acknowledging it was true. But I've decided that it's not true anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
And now I choose to make myself better. So creating a few empowering language patterns. But then on a daily basis, 2 things. One, program your mind. Ask yourself the right questions. Questions are the answer. Let me repeat that. Questions are the answer. So asking yourself, what can I do today that will allow me to be a better marketer or a better this? So asking yourself powerful questions on a daily basis. That's number one. That gets your mind going. And if you do it on a daily basis, it's like if you do it once, it's like you draw a line in the sand. What happens is the wind comes, it blows it, the line's gone. But if you do it again and again and again and again, it starts to become you. You become that thought. So that's one thing. Another is making it a habit to step outside your comfort zone every single day. So success is not an event. Success is a result of habits. So every single day, just do a little bit more. You don't have to change 180 degrees in your life. Just do something that's a little uncomfortable. I'll share with you. This is my daily planner, and every single day I ask myself a couple of questions, and I fill this out every single day. So this is my daily planner, and here's one. Question number 7. One thing I could do today that's a little outside of my comfort zone. Every single day, I try and do just a little bit more that's outside of my comfort zone.
Got it.
And so that's yeah. So if you can just step outside your comfort zone every single day, I think that's going to be very powerful, along with programming your mind on a daily basis, making it a habit. Yeah.
So while you talk about that, Muneer, I have one more question. I'm sure we are on time, or I'm not sure if you want to do it for a certain time or not. This one last question that is on my mind. I've realized as a coach, as well as the work we do, a lot of people have say that they want to do a lot of things, right? Now, what you're telling me is specific techniques and ideas, which is brilliant. People who are going to apply it, run with it, and move forward. But there are a lot of people that I've come across. They want to play a big game. They talk about it, but in my own interpretation, I see the level of desire for them to take action is not that great for them to take action. This is one of the questions that I've been exploring, and I have certain thoughts around it as well, but I want to pick your brain. How would you increase that level of desire a person has for him to get into the action, take these strategies from what you're saying, and find the right resources, find the right action steps, and just go with it? What would you suggest to someone like, or what would you say to that, basically?
So it's a great question, because ultimately the reasons, so our actions are reflected by our desire or our why. Okay, when your why is high enough, you find a how. And when we aren't taking enough action, it's typically because our desire isn't strong enough. So there's a number of I do a number of exercises with people, because you can artificially build up your why. And basically that comes to your attention. It comes down to your attention. When you focus on something enough, it will start to become more important. So I would spend some time and ask people, why is this important? Why is this important? Why is it like come up with a number of reasons. What are you going to gain? What will happen if you don't do it? What were you going to gain? What's going to happen if you don't do it? Let's look forward. I do timeline exercises. So let's imagine 5 years from now, if you don't change, what is going to happen in your life? If you do change, what is going to happen in your life? But you take the time to explore, and the more that you explore, the more that it will become important to them. So that's one thing is stacking up the reasons, why somebody wants to do something, and you can imagine it as literally the more reasons that they put on paper, the bigger their list, the bigger their desire is going to be. At its simplest form. So that's one thing. But also another thing is peeling back the layers. So one thing I like to do is I like to, for example, I'd say to you, Irfan, okay, why is taking action important to you? And you'll say, because I want to make more money. But let's say, right?
Yeah.
I would then say, why is making money important to you? Because I want to go deeper, because we all have surface reasons. We don't really appreciate the reasons beneath. So you'd say, I want to make money because I want to support my family. Why is supporting your family important to you? And then you'll say this reason. And then I guess, what's that important to you? And when we go deeper and deeper and deeper, you identify with your core reason, and that becomes hugely, hugely powerful.
Yeah. I had a similar idea in mind, because I remember certain situations from my life from a very early childhood. The reason why I came out of it, because I wanted to make my mother's life better. That was my simple reason. She was working like a crazy person, morning to evening, to make the end meet. I was working. My younger brother was working. We come from a certain background, and poverty background. So I remember that was one of my that rightly so, because you see, If you have good enough reasons for you to do something, and you will find a way. You will reach out to Muneer, you will reach out to people who can help and guide, and you will find those resources, and you will take action. So it's brilliant, Muneer. Thank you so much. It's a great extended session that we did, and a lot of sharing. I'm sure. I hope we have created value for a lot of people out there listening. And
and thank you for extending your podcast interview onto my channel. I appreciate it. So thank you for having me and for allowing me to have me on my channel.
Likewise, brother. Likewise. Always a pleasure to connect with you and talk to you. Pick your brain.
All right. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marika. Great to see you. She's saying thank you to both. All right, everyone. Peace out. Lots of love. And we will catch you on another episode real soon. Bye for now. Peace out. One love.